The crowd inside the America's Got Talent theater buzzed with energy as the next contestant stepped onto the massive, brightly lit stage. The air was filled with chatter, laughter, and the faint hum of anticipation. From the shadows emerged a young Filipino man dressed in a white, glitter-covered Elvis Presley jumpsuit, complete with a high collar, a fake rhinestone belt, and black slicked-back hair. His outfit seemed both daring and outdated, and as he walked nervously toward the center of the stage, a wave of soft laughter rippled through the audience. Some people smiled mockingly, others whispered to their friends, unsure whether this was a serious act or a comedy performance. The judges exchanged quick glances, their expressions a mix of amusement and curiosity. Simon Cowell leaned back in his chair, smirking slightly, as if already predicting what was about to happen. "This should be interesting," he murmured under his breath, loud enough for the microphone to catch. Heidi Klum smiled politely while Sofia Vergara tried to hide her laughter behind her hand. Howie Mandel tilted his head, giving the contestant a supportive nod. The Filipino Elvis adjusted his microphone nervously, his hands trembling ever so slightly. For a moment, he looked like a man out of time, an echo from a forgotten era trying to find his place in the modern world. The spotlight hit him squarely, highlighting the sparkle of his suit as he took a deep breath. The audience quieted a little, though a few giggles still floated through the air. "What's your name?" Simon asked, his tone slightly teasing. "I'm Carlo, from the Philippines," the contestant replied, his voice soft but steady. Simon raised an eyebrow. "And who inspired this look?" Carlo smiled shyly and answered, "Elvis Presley, sir. Ever since I was a kid, I've dreamed of singing like him." A few members of the audience chuckled again, but Carlo didn't flinch. He closed his eyes briefly, as if saying a silent prayer. The lights dimmed, leaving him alone in a single golden spotlight. The laughter began to fade into a hushed anticipation. The familiar guitar intro of "Can't Help Falling in Love" started to play. In that instant, Carlo's entire demeanor shifted. His breathing slowed, his eyes opened with calm confidence, and his posture straightened. The laughter that had filled the room moments ago melted into complete silence as everyone waited for him to sing, unaware that everything they thought was a joke was about to change forever. The first gentle strum of the guitar echoed through the vast AGT theater, instantly drawing every eye toward the young Filipino man standing alone under the golden spotlight. Carlo gripped the microphone, his heart pounding so hard it felt like the entire stage could hear it. He inhaled deeply, and then, without hesitation, he began to sing. The first note of "Can't Help Falling in Love" left his lips, pure, deep, and rich, carrying a warmth that silenced every whisper in the room. The laughter that had filled the air moments ago evaporated into stunned stillness. His voice didn't just sound like Elvis Presley, it felt like Elvis had come back to life. The tone of his voice was hauntingly smooth, yet soulful, filled with emotion that reached deep into the hearts of everyone listening. His accent vanished as if he had been born in Memphis, yet there was something uniquely his own in the way he delivered each word, gentle, respectful, and full of passion. Simon Cowell's smirk slowly faded, replaced by a look of shock and admiration. Heidi's hand went to her chest, and Sophia's playful grin melted into awe. Howie leaned forward, eyes wide, whispering, "Unbelievable." The camera panned across the audience, mouths were open, eyes were wide, and a quiet, emotional stillness blanketed the room. Carlo sang as if the stage no longer existed, his eyes closed, his voice trembling with sincerity. Every note told a story of his journey, the years he spent singing at small-town events back home in the Philippines, the moments of doubt, the laughter he faced, and the dream that never died inside him. He lifted his hand slightly, mirroring one of Elvis's iconic gestures, and the crowd gasped at how natural it looked. It wasn't an imitation, it was a heartfelt tribute, a connection that transcended time and distance. As the music swelled toward the chorus, his confidence grew. His voice filled the theater, powerful and flawless, wrapping the audience in a wave of nostalgia and admiration. The judges leaned in, completely mesmerized. The laughter that once mocked him had transformed into reverent silence. By the time he reached the line, "Take my hand, take my whole life too," tears began to form in the eyes of several audience members. In that moment, Carlo wasn't just singing an Elvis song, he was proving that dreams, no matter how unlikely, can command respect when carried by genuine passion. The energy inside the theater began to shift the moment Carlo's voice reached its peak. The once skeptical crowd now sat frozen, their eyes locked on the young Filipino man who had completely transformed before their eyes. Every note he sang carried emotion, every movement was smooth and effortless, like he was born to be there. The judges, who moments ago exchanged amused glances, were now visibly moved. Simon leaned forward, his chin resting on his hand, studying Carlo with rare intensity. Heidi's eyes shimmered with tears, Sophia had her hands clasped to her heart, and Howie simply shook his head, mouthing, "Wow." As Carlo continued, the audience began to rise from their seats, unable to contain their admiration. People started clapping along softly at first, then louder, following the rhythm of his song. The laughter and whispers that had once filled the room were replaced by cheers of encouragement. "Go, Elvis,